Recently, Mark Zuckerberg told investors that because of the success of the Oculus Quest 2, consumers don't want wired VR. I think Mark Zuckerberg is wrong, very wrong. Could Oculus's walled garden exclusivity approach to VR ultimately be its undoing? Let's talk about it. Some other folks might try to ship something that they claim is higher quality, but has a wire, and I just don't think that consumers are going to want to go for that. If you're looking at the success of the Oculus Quest 2 right now, Zuck seems totally right. Everyone's into their fitness and rhythm games, and the feeling of hands-free, independent movement in VR is unparalleled, and the Quest is best in class. But the sacrifice made in order to have a mobile system based on a mobile chipset is tremendous. The Oculus Quest isn't attractive to consumers just because of its wireless options. It's attractive because at that price range, it's the only option. I think that VR users fall into one of two camps. Let's start with people like the hardcore. We have a voracious appetite for tech, we're tired of the old experiences, and we're looking for something engaging and different in a new way. The Oculus Quest fits that category. We get perspectives in games that we've never seen before, and we interact with games in ways that we never could before, and that's dope. The problem with that is, when the experiences don't evolve fast enough, or the community isn't engaging enough, then we lose interest and move on to the next shiny object. Now, Zuckerberg and Facebook have made no secret that the appeal of attracting the broader audience, the mainstream audience who are into fitness and rhythm games, is exciting. But Zuck, consider this. In pursuit of that big blue ocean of potential consumers, did it occur to you that there's nothing keeping them on the platform? The hardcore consumer accumulates a large library of digital purchases, thus locking themselves into your ecosystem. The casual consumer, the one who picks up Beat Saber, their Quest, and the next fitness app, once they're done, they're gone. Here's the real thing that consumers need to think about with Oculus. Facebook is a data collection company. That's it, that's what they do. They've created a service that we use every day, preying into, collecting, and shuffling our data to such an extent that even Apple is like, hold on, pause. We need some transparency here. Again, this is no shade on Facebook. Frankly, I don't want them canceling my Oculus Quest account. But what I'm really saying is that this newfound popularity from the bump in physical hardware sales with the Oculus Quest, that's new to Facebook, and that shouldn't be overlooked. The only profit-making physical thing that Facebook made before this was Portal? Yeah, who bought that? Facebook doesn't really have a digital store to lock you into their ecosystem with years of purchases. To add insult to injury, if you bought a Gear VR with digital purchases on that platform, those games don't even transfer to the new Oculus Quest anyway. Their chances of locking people like me into their newer hardware vanishes with every upgrade. So, with no devices to lock me in and no hardware to lock me in, what keeps that blue ocean consumer locked to your device? You probably already see where I'm going. Do you know who is entering the VR market? Who has hardware devices that almost everybody owns? Who has an ecosystem of software and apps that you've been using for years? Yeah, Apple. And before you say, oh, the Oculus price is too unbeatable, Apple will never enter that market, they don't have to. They've proven that consumers will pay any amount for quality. And that's one thing Apple will deliver, quality and consistency, something that Facebook hasn't quite shown that they know how to do yet. Apple snatches up the big blue market, but where does that leave people like me? Guess who else is entering the gaming VR market? Sony, with the PlayStation 5 and the PSVR 2. The PlayStation platform has arguably the best collection of VR games available. It's a miracle really, because the PSVR was anchored by outdated tech with the Move controllers and outdated hardware. Now imagine what would happen with the PlayStation 5 and the PSVR 2 updated to take advantage of the most recent technological advances in VR. Oculus promises more AAA games in the future of the platform, but the more we play, the more we see the hardware limitations and the compromises that developers have had to make. Sure, we love playing on a mobile wire-free setup, but it's starting to feel like it's at the cost of the evolution of the medium. I had a PSVR, and the PSVR with its archaic tech was unwieldy. You had several wires, you had a breakout box, it was a mess, and nobody wanted that. But a solution with a single wire going into a much more powerful piece of hardware that at least matches the Oculus Quest 2 is a huge bump up. And that's a bump that I think most gamers are going to go for. Look, I'm no fool. I know that the cost of entry to VR that's not Quest 2 is very high. PC VR gaming with the graphics card starts at $1,000, not including the hardware. And PlayStation VR 2 gaming is the cost of the system that you can't find and whatever the PSVR 2 costs. And you know it's not going to be under $3. So $800 right off the bat. We've got it. None of this is cheap. But in Facebook's pursuit to capitalize on this momentum built by their first physical sale product, they've created a little bit of doubt in the consumer, at least in me. If you had a Gear VR or an Oculus Go, Facebook one day made an announcement and then those platforms were supported no more. No more updates, no more patches. For all intents and purposes, the hardware became a paperweight. With the announcement of Resident Evil 4, exclusive to the Oculus Quest, those people who purchased an Oculus Quest 1 in 2019 are already facing forced obsolescence. There will be games that just won't work on that platform, which is unheard of in such a short time in the console gaming world. That's not how you build trust. I feel awful because there's so many things I love about the Quest and I enjoy it to this day, which takes me all the way back to my original premise. Maybe Facebook's hunger to copy Apple's walled garden format might have hurt them in the long run. Maybe shutting out the other PC developers and platforms that might have benefited from a shared communal ecosystem are now ambivalent at best toward making anything for the Quest. And it doesn't help when your public darling, the Oculus Quest 2, gets all the love, but the PC's Oculus Rift, which came out just last year, and PC users and developers are left holding the bag, trying to figure out why their higher-end games are being compressed and compromised for the inferior system. Again, I don't have a PC, I'm a Quest-only user and a Mac user at that, but I can sort of see the resentment. If you do own an Oculus Quest 2, enjoy it right now. It's a great system and I just made a video with 15 apps and games that you really do need to have on the platform. But if I were a betting man, I would say that the Oculus's future success isn't set in stone. But what do you think? What's keeping you to the system? Are you planning on buying future hardware? What about Sony's PSVR 2? Will that steal you away from the platform? Sorry about this Oculus Quest think piece. Next time I'll keep it light with 5 apps that you need to try on the SideQuest store or the App Lab. But in the meantime, smash that notification bell, like and subscribe to the channel, and tell a friend. Hopefully I'll see you next week on Ask Joe. Peace.